What's up, guys? John Sintes, Alex Rojas, Cutternation Baseball. Are you Namas? I don't even. Coach Rowe,
We're just Coach Rowe, man. TPC baseball, power hitting Coach Rowe.
power hitting Coach Rowe, TPC Baseball, Livermore, San Diego. We come together to form Let's Win a Ball Game, Cutternation Podcast, and then whatever else you want to call it. Honestly, it's been evolved to what it is. Um,
Ball game
buddy,
because people don't talk about winning ball games the same way that we used to.
you're trying to win the game. I'll start off. One of my favorite first questions to new kids or new parents or anybody that is like a great test with one question is, how do you win a ball game? And when I am talking to parents or athletes and they're telling me I need to throw harder, there's no follow up to that of like, to do what? Like, do you want to throw harder to just be on a board? Do you want to throw harder because if you throw harder, you add spin? Do you want to throw harder because if you throw faster, the faster you throw a strike, the harder it is to hit a strike? So, like, yes, straight ball goes far, but like in the same sense, the harder you throw it straight, the harder it is to see it and locate it. So it's like, how are we really going to do this? And so you can get really deep. So, Alex, how do you win a ball game?
The first thing I would talk about is pitcher catcher scoreboard. How good is your pitcher? How good is your catcher? And do you think that your offense can put runs on the scoreboard? Right? That would be my first three questions. And pitcher, like think about the Gigantes that won 3 World Series out of 5 years, right? So you had Matt Cain, Tim Lincecum, Madison Bumgarner, the giant bullpen that they had. You had, excuse me, Benji Leon was on that first one with Buster. Buster was on all three, so you had an all-star catcher every single time. They couldn't put runs on the scoreboard. And I was actually talking to Jason, our owner, about this. They, unfortunately, their Granada team got eliminated from NCS, and so their season's over. And nationally ranked team won state last year. They were predicted to at least get to the state tournament. Didn't happen. That's baseball, right? But they didn't score as many runs as they did last year, right? And when you don't score as many runs, you have to be better defensively. If you're not better defensively, you can't not score. You know what I mean? Double negative applies there. But you think about it, that was the year when those were the years when Matt Cain could throw a perfect game because he had a defense that could, cover it, right? Tim Lincecum threw multiple no-hitters. Jonathan Sanchez threw a no-hitter, right? For you to do that inside of that time, you have to have a high-level defense, right? So even though they couldn't put runs on the scoreboard the way that, like, the Rangers did, when the Rangers won the World Series, and they're, like, boat racing people sometimes, they were beating you 2 out of 3 ways, right? They were going to be pitcher-catcher and just try to keep the score super close. Do you remember when Tim Lincecum would lose a 1-0 ball game? All the time, like 11 strikeouts, like 12 strikeouts, got the loss. Like, what? Like, gave up maybe two or not even earned runs. Like, just stuff happens in baseball, right? And just Tim is throwing 130 pitches, right? So that would be my answer. Pitcher, catcher. And the reason why I say catcher is because you got to have somebody who reads the swing for the pitcher, reads takes, because the pitcher can't see everything all the time because he is trying to make pitches. Right? So you also have to have a catcher that can look at the defense when the pitcher's not looking at the defense and just kind of understand where guys are at, understand how to not make balls try to look too much like a strike, keep the umpire on your side, just little stuff like that. Can you throw guys out? Can you keep the ball in front of you? Because if that guy can't throw the ball in the dirt, like he's just serving stuff up in the zone because you can't block and you can't throw guys out, now you're like, what are we doing? Right? So it's like you got to nullify that. So that would be my 3 things for a quick, short response. Honestly, if you go way deeper than that, like how do you score runs? But super simple: pitcher, catcher, scoreboard.
My favorite part about your answer is, like, if you listen to the question, it was personal. How do you win a baseball game? So, Alex, when you are playing, how do you win?
I'm playing.
Yeah, that's
If
the
I
question.
was,
That's the funny part, right? Like if
well,
you
isn't
answer,
that like, you can't
yeah.
play baseball without a team, right? Like, because that would be
Well, if you're on the
you
team,
could,
that's what I'm saying. You're on the team.
if I'm on the
You're
team,
trying to
my
win.
role on
You're
the
trying to
team,
win.
if I'm trying to win, I mean, knowing my role, I was doing all those things.
Right. You were catching and you were doing all that stuff.
So I was in
Right.
charge of the pitching staff. So I had to understand my pitching staff, and like, you just have the two at bats that you really care about. Like, guys on second base, 2 outs, guys on third base, less than 2 outs. Cash in. Get on base when there's nobody. You know what I mean? Like, just do those things, and yeah, I'm going to contribute. Keep it super simple like that.
Yeah. Exactly. 100%. You and I would have so much fun. You know what I mean? If we were both playing together, it would have been. These guys would be bored. They'd be upset.
Yeah. How would you win a ball game?
Well, I wouldn't let them hit the ball, and I wouldn't let them score. You cut out. Say it again.
Perfect game, any chance you could.
Right. You have to start off
You're,
if you're not starting off with you trying to never let anybody get on base and then not letting them hit the ball, like even if they know what's coming, it's still a problem, right? Like if you know that I'm going to aim at the 7 with my fastball and the 9, it's still a tough pitch to hit. And if I land the cutter there and you're slightly off time with it and you know it's coming, and you're in high school or college and you haven't seen enough of them, I have the advantage as many times as I would like to have. So that would be my answer: is I would sit fastball cutter or cutter fastball and just watch it happen.
yep. Yeah. So, that, when thinking about like not letting guys get on base, right? What do you do to like, because that's when you start pitching and you have to start locating, right? What do you keep throwing it at the 7 if someone gets on, if someone does hit it?
No, that's when you change.
Stop throwing
That,
it. So like, how, so let's say that happens. So to talk, so I was talking about Shohei to the guys last night. We were just doing like a little like comparison. Like, one of the guys, like, obviously, who doesn't have the high level swing that a guy like Ohtani does, and like, Ohtani literally doesn't move his bat once his foot gets down. It moves like slightly because every big leaguer is kind of like cheating the fastball always so they can stay ahead of it. Like, they're not getting their foot all the way down. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And his bat angle didn't move throughout the entire process of his load. His just everything was just in the same spot. And then you
So
look
he
at our,
didn't create separation. He's just starting there.
yeah, pretty much, and he's rotating around it. It's awesome. Like the fact that he could do that, I'm like, dude, you've found a way to manipulate your long ass body. It's so interesting. It's very like Sadahata O, but if Sadahata O was like 6'5" or whatever Shohei is, right? The point that I'm making is I was watching Jacob, and Jacob was moving his bat here, here, here. Like, it had 3 different spots throughout the swing. And you're just thinking about, you're changing something that is not changeable. I hate using that word, but I can't think of it. It has no way of having a variation to it because you're constantly recalculating where you're putting your bat, right? Versus Shohei has the perfect, whatever it is, strength, focus, concentration, whatever it is, to just hold something in place and just ratchet around to create this perfect approach angle to a lot of pitches. Like, it's made him pretty effective. And the pitch that I was watching was the home run off the Padres when he tosses the bat to the dugout after he hits the bomb, right? And which, by the way, fire. So much emotion. Love to see the emotion, right? But it was the idea of, it was like whack. But he never stopped loading. Like, that was one thing I've Adrian Gonzalez, one of my favorite hitters of all time. I don't think he gets enough credit. I think he hit 340 in 159 games in Boston. Just hitting balls off. If the fence was lower, he's just hitting bombs. Like, he's just hitting balls off the fence, right? And that was one of the reasons why they brought him there, like strategically. It's like, we're just going to hit just oppo tanks over Fenway. Didn't work out. He just hit it off the wall. But anyways, he just said never stop loading. I forget when I heard that, but it was very recently, like within the last couple months. And he goes, my goal is to never stop loading. I was like, that's a very valuable thing. And then you look at Shohei, he quite literally looks like he never stops loading his body back like this ever until he goes boom. So it's one of the more difficult things, I think, for a lot of guys to do, because I think you got to be shaped a certain way. But I think the idea of never stop loading is a really good idea to hit a variety of different pitches at that level. I've never played at that level, but you watch guys do that, and you hear high level hitters who hit 340 at the highest level, right, in 158 games. It's not bad, right? And he's thinking about, I'm just going to keep loading as long as I can. And then you watch the best pitcher in the game do it. And I think a part of it is because they have to calculate this information so precisely, right, that they're way better at firing later, which is why they're loading, but they're kind of cheating early because they're, systemic with the iPads, right? Counts, one pitch, right? They've got an idea, right? It's really like every at bat seems like a mini game at the highest level. It's like every at bat is like a miniature game against this guy. It's really cool to see. So hearing you talk about it, because that's a part of what you're talking about, you're like, I'm going to keep playing the same game to the whole unit of these guys until you guys figure it out. But then how you approach that unit is a piece by piece, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Like Max Clark talked about changing his bat angle, and he just started hitting bombs. Like he was just like, I just changed how I was holding the bat. It's like, that's so funny.
That's all you got to do.
Because he's so good. He's just already so good, right? It's not going to make him like, he doesn't have to change his mechanics. He's just like, no, stop holding the bat like a dummy. Somebody told him probably, like, you're holding the bat like a dummy, right?
Nope, like
You're not a dummy, Max Clark, but somebody was probably like, why are you holding it like that? Hold it like this, right? Because that's how it always feels like. Because then you look back on it, and then you're just like, why was I holding my hands like that? Just like, that wasn't the most efficient way for me to do it. It's just like, because you probably now, in a variety of ways, you look at 3 years ago, John, and you're just like, oh, so silly. What a silly guy.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's even throwing recently. Took a little time off. We've been talking about that, but that was my first, I think I threw 80 pitches, 75, 80 pitches or something like that. Which, by the way, I love when I say those numbers and people are like, well, but what you don't understand about this, boys, let's just put this together, okay? You can throw and long toss for hours. If you don't stop and keep kind of going, you can throw for an hour and a half. I've thrown for 2 hours before. Right? Been out there for a long time. Long toss, bring it in, pull downs, hot day. There is a way to do that. There's a way to recover from that. It's the innings. It's the up and then the down, the cool down. That is what the strenuous part is, right? That's where we've adopted a lot more, like go in the tunnel, throw plyo, go see the open. I just heard a idea the other day that one of the kids in the game, full headphones in between, went into the tunnel, sat in, and then just watched highlights of himself and listened to music in between innings. Love that. The process of how people are preparing is evolving, and they're getting more creative. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine if I had headphones in the dugout in 2007, 2008, 2009, right? People losing their minds, but now we're starting to understand psychology, and you can't put everybody in a box, and people perform differently. And what I've been telling kids a lot recently is college baseball, professional baseball is just like you're playing a road game all the time. Doesn't matter if you're at home. You're still not home. Just the temporary spot until you're at the other spot. So it's not really the same thing. And if you figure out to play on the road and make away home, then you're chilling. You have a really good way of processing how the game should be played. What do you think?
Speaking of college baseball, Jack Caglione, talk about knowing how to play on the road. Guy's in AAA for a week. He's got 4 games, 4 bombs in a row. Right? Like the guy understands how to play in weird environments on the road, on the bus, on the plane, because he's been doing it, right, for so long. And I don't know how old he is off the top of my head. I think he's 23, right? Maybe, might be 22, right? But he's doing stuff at a AAA level that, like, your Wyatt Langfords, they did it, right? Shows he can play on the road. I don't think he literally had no time in the minor leagues, I do believe. I think they drafted him. They're like, dude, he's ready. Like maybe he played like their complimentary games. They saw him and they were just like, this guy's insane, right? But it's not just the talent on the field, it's what you said. It's like the idea of just like they understand how people perform differently. And so now he can go on the road and do it, right? And he can do it at home because even like you said, how many guys really live in Arlington? Probably not that many. You know what I mean? Probably they've got an apartment or a condo or a duplex or whatever, right? But they live somewhere else, most likely, right? They could even live in Dallas, right? But it's like they're not living in Arlington, right? And then that's only where you play 81 games, supposedly, right? Right? So it's like, dude, talk about this. How about being a Sacramento A? And your road games are so much cooler than your home games. Like
My guy Grant. Grant's out there right now living the dream.
Oh, dude, and that's a big team, and I'm trying to stay more in touch with them right now. Not Grant, but just the A's, right? Dude, they've got a good team. Nick Kurtz, Tyler Soderstrom, Jacob Wilson, happiest feet in baseball. Dude, Lawrence Butler, that guy is jacked. Like when he stands on second base after he gets a double, like he's got like the football player fucking like I'm like, dude, you guys have pads. This guy shouldn't be playing baseball. This guy should be playing safety somewhere. Dude, he is such a good looking athlete. Like, I think he was hitting 300 early in the season. I don't know where he is right now, but just like very good, refreshing young talent. Oakland. Who knows how long it's going to stay, but they're really young. And then you still got Tommy Tanks. And if Tommy Tanks makes his way into Sacramento with all these guys, dude, we're basically playing SEC baseball in Sacramento. That's what's happened. But it goes to show again what I've already talked about and what you talked about. These guys can just play baseball anytime, any place. They know how to lock in. They know how to perform. Turn the lights on. I got 3 games. Bet I hit a bomb. That's like so many of these guys' mentality. Like I got 3 games. Bet. Right. So, and then to go with your point earlier, right? You also have starting pitchers that are like every 5th day, dude, I bet I can throw a perfect game. Like every 5th game, there's so many of the guys that are just like, dude, I bet I could get like 12 Ks if I really lock it. And that's what they're trying to do, right? They're not trying to get like, I'm not like, they're all trying their best, right? That's why they say they're doing it one pitch at a time, but they're all competing at the same level that all you high school kids are at, where you're just like, bro, I'm trying to hit a freaking tank right now. It's like, same guy, right? He's just older. And like when he does, he's O'Neal Cruz. He goes 122.9 for a boomba. Was that yesterday that he did that? My God. Like, you should look that up on your computer. He went 122.9 for a bomb. I don't know if that was recently, but somebody sent me that. And I mean, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But it is 122 miles an hour. Like if you saw a car going 122 miles an hour, you'd never forget it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, that thing's fucking moving.
Yeah, I mean that ball smoked.
Like the camera got to it and it was gone. Like the camera was like, oh no. Because they watched O'Neal hit it. He was like,
did you see that there was a 3D one of the model, like it getting out, with the stick figures and all the thing, and it was
the baseball savant.
Yes.
Baseball savant coming in with the tech. the happy feet in the box is one of the best things I've ever seen. Like, seeing guys' feet move all the time is one of the things that I feel like baseball hasn't talked about, and Jacob Wilson as well as like kind of. Dude, I see so many kids when they load their back foot, they take a little baby step, and I have told them like stop doing it. And now I'm watching Jacob Wilson do it, and I'm like, I mean, should I tell you to stop doing it? Because like, what if it works? Like, you never know. And he's 9, 10, 11 years old. Let him freaking do it. Like, why not? I'm going to get on a big rant here for about 60 seconds, and then you're going to respond.
Let's do it.
So, banana ball's growing, right? I have commented, and I'm going to continue to comment on the posts. There needs to be a California banana ball team, and you and I should be a part of the coaching staff. At least give it a shot. And I'm thinking we have it somewhere in like it's got to be San Jose, San Diego type area, right? Can't do it in San Francisco, Oakland. Didn't work out, right? So the reason why I bring it up, would you prefer, like even the Pioneer League, is it the Pioneer League? Yeah, the West Coast version of the Atlantic League. They play a home run derby round in extras. They're like, we're not playing 15, 19, 20 fucking innings. Like, first to hit a bomb, right? So, like, what do you think about this new age in baseball? Are you for it or are you against it?
I like the new. Yeah, I want it. Let's just end the game. Like the walk off is the thing, and the banana
That's the
ball,
knockout. Let's
the
end the
banana
game.
ball 3-on-1. Hit it as far as you can and try to score from home. It's crazy how many turn into the bang bang play. I mean, I don't know.
You get a wrinkle in you, right? Because that's the other side. Because baseball is adverse, right?
Right. What you would do is you do the opposite. So like if I jammed the guy and he got on by a hit, then I would go away because the next guy behind him would remember that and be like, okay, we came inside. So then if he's cheating away, I would get him there. So that would be slider away, first pitch, gotcha. Probably double play ball.
Even double play, right? One of my favorite ways to win a ball game is try to figure out when that happens. Because coming from pitcher, now catcher, like the art of finding a double play is truly something that every hitter should try to avoid, and every pitcher and catcher should understand how to make it happen.
So there's our next question. How do you get a ground ball double play? Because that's like one of the most valuable things you can do as a pitcher. At any moment, one out, force out somewhere.
Yeah.
There are spots and places and things that you can do to throw the ball to get them to hit it in the right spot. For example, first and second, one out, right? I really need to use this guy's up the middle against him to get him to get around it to the third baseman or jam him to that. So if I know he's trying to go up the middle, because that's what most kids try to do in college for the free single, then I'm probably going to go slow curves, fastballs inside, and then sweepers to really try to make him swing at something he doesn't want to.
This new sweeper thing. Everybody's got a sweeper.
It's just a slurve. It's a slurve. It's a sideways curveball. That's all. It's a long slider.
Growing up, that was the Tommy John curveball, right? We just called that the TJ curveball because that's what kids wanted to throw at a young age, right? And just like, and make it like hook around and like start at the dude's faces, right? Which is, if you can do that at 12 and not get TJ, making a curveball start at a kid's face and maintain that, hell yeah. Oh, so going back to what we were talking about, you're not John Sintes, right? You're not Hippo. You are muy pequeño, like 5'10", 5'11", but throw hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you going with the same game plan? Because one of the things that you talk about all the time, and I've heard Jason, our owner, talk about is like ball in flight time, right? Like that's a thing. Like how long is the ball in flight, right? You're obviously like, I don't know, you know how long you are, but I'm going to assume at your height and your length, that ball is going to feel like it's on me a lot more so than if somebody threw the same velocity, the same spin rate at 5'11".
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it's called extension. when you look at the TrackMan, it's actually one of the things we tell all of our hitters when they do get TrackMan data is go find some of these things. It can give you a better understanding, and so if you can identify pitchers based on their release height and their release extension and understand what that is to the average of what you see, it'll also give you a lot of information on what they can do with their breaking balls, right? Like high slot guys don't normally have a lot of horizontal movement. They're more up and down. Low slot guys are normally can't do up and down. They can normally do horizontal stuff. So like the shapes that are created are unique to the slot as the arm comes around. And each, like I said, each thing can only do certain things. So once you figure that out, I mean, there's only 5 options right now, if that makes sense. So there's backspin, topspin, side spin, and spiral. And so up, down, left, right, and so if you can memorize the spin and how it's trying to be, then you can replicate that and then pass that along to the next generation. So once you understand the physics of how to do that, then you apply it situationally to process, right? So if I'm reading Alex Rojas and I watch his on deck swing and I see his one-handed finish for what he gets to with his double go to feet, I know that he's going to stay centered, so I have to use that against him, right? If he does travel, that's easier. I love big guys that have big kicks that move sideways because then I can just go really slow and really fast. Not only mess with the speed range, but mess with the shortness of the line because the up and in line is so much shorter than the down and away line. And then it's also different on like up and in cutter line to down and away curveball. Like those speed ranges would be just and would be the whole thing.
I would just like the batter's box against you while you're saying all those things. I was like in there, like trying to see shapes and move my eyes around the zone like that. That was cool.
Yeah.
One of the things we were talking about was right. I'm just gonna put those in my head as like two seam slider, changeup. Right now, and top spin, back spin, side spin, spiral spin, all at the 7. Is everything going at the 7? Or are you just going to keep going with, I'm going to throw the side spinner, like the cutter, right? Because it seems like, and we talk about it all the time. You see a guy come in off the bullpen, it's like 9 sliders in a row, right? And he's just bam, 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 bam. That kind of seems to be that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it really just being a starter as a reliever, and being able to play multiple speed ranges, you just have such an advantage because if everybody else is playing a 2 speed range and you're playing a 3 speed range with multiple directions, like you're making it incredibly difficult with the hitters. So, you know, as a reliever, you're really trying to do a different thing than what the starters have done. Right. So if a guy started as a lefty and then you come in as a righty, then you have to make sure that if they were pumping inside to righties as a lefty, then you need to make sure that crossfire action is still in your favor. So if you were to throw a fastball inside first, that would probably kind of freak them out a little bit because they're used to the crossfire coming in instead of the thing that starts in and stays in. So once you can visualize those tunnels, then you can really help yourself, practice that better. One of those things would be filming from behind the catcher instead of from the side angle or from behind the hitter because you really want to see what the hitter sees. We've put cameras up by like if you look at your height, I'm 6'4", so go down like 5 inches, so that's like 6 foot. We put a camera like 5'8", 5'9", just from the batter's box and show some of our guys what their shapes are going directly to the pitcher or to the catcher. So if you've seen it, but like
I've seen it
turns in. It really, there's a ton of them where it turns into a bang bang play.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's nothing better than a bang bang play. I mean, SEC tournament, so many bang bang plays this weekend. Just the throws, shout out to all the SEC shortstops that played because y'all in the relay, the jump, catch, stick the foot throws were just, oh my God, that was amazing.
Vanderbilt turning double plays like absolute nothing.
You're bad. You need a ground ball? Hey, you need a ground ball? Slider. But that's all I saw. I saw, oh, you need a ground ball? Slider. Cheese, slider.
But also, every guy is like so strong. They're just like, I'm gonna swing. They're all just up there hacking, and it works out for a lot of them.
True.
So, real quick, last thing before we get into what I want to talk about, which is regional baseball. Right, we got to talk some regional baseball. Right.
Oh yeah, let me pull that up.
One of the things recently I've been doing in facility, and I was inspired by one of our other coaches, Zion, because I had neglected to think about doing this as much as I did it, but I didn't know how much of an impact it could actually have on an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid that's just like in a class. Putting the iPad up and put the auto detect feature on form so they can just swing and it just reads it, and then you go, okay, watch that one. Then they can look at it and not move it all in the box, and then immediately go, oh, I moved my head. And you're like, yep. And then they step back in the box and they take a swing. How often are you like showing guys what they're doing at a young age?
Like when we go play in our tournaments, it's real fun because what I've noticed, and it's very interesting, is I get an opportunity to kind of take over and say things that I wouldn't normally say to a major leaguer during the game, because you can kind of coach pitch to pitch, and the language that we've created here, it shows that, because I've got rules, we've got things, we have a lot of stuff that really can affect how people perform. And in that video I was telling you earlier, my guy, shout out to Millard Takura, the Japanese Berizito for my guy. We were
Great
just having
game.
so much fun. And he's a big curveball guy. I'm a big curveball guy. And I walked behind home plate. This is one of those little things, right? I walked behind home plate and I'm staring at what the hitters are going to see. We got no batter's eye with a high sky in Arizona and a guy that hides the ball a little bit and gets downhill. And when you can actually teach kids how to maximize how they affect the game and then show them in video immediately when they come off, that's where it's like, I do like the idea of being with the team and getting off the iPads, Brett Boone, Aaron Boone, I get that. But in certain situations, or in the idea of trying to stay close to it, man, it does nothing but help. You know? Like I always say, dude, like if I was wearing the Apple goggles and I got screens everywhere and I'm getting spin rate, force plate, extension, velo, replay, my hand, y'all screwed. But like that's where the art of it, that's where the pitch clock completely eliminates that, because you got to be an absolute savant to make a pitch per pitch adjustment, millimeter, angles, spin, but it's not the same pitch. Like there's so many things that go into that. And if you don't practice that way, then it doesn't really work out. It doesn't translate if you can't go different pitches for what you're doing.
So that's where the whole feel versus real, right? That's that whole conversation. But that is sports. Like the idea of
Right.
sports is like, and then some are manicured, right? Like in Thailand, I know this isn't related, but in Thailand they also do boxing and kickboxing, right? But they let them rest like up to, I think, like 3 minutes in between rounds, right? So like they get a full rest before they go back at it,
Yeah,
right?
they want to see high level stuff, right? We don't want to see somebody being tired. Yeah.
Right. But then at the same time, we also recognize, hey, if you're a UFC fighter and you go 5 rounds with 1 minute break in between a 5 minute round, like you're a bad dude, right? So
Yeah.
both things are equal, right? But I also like the idea of what you're saying. It also goes back to the kids. I don't think anybody should be playing 6 innings until you're 12. I think it should be
Oh, that's a
like
good point.
3, 4,
Yes.
5,
That's a
6,
great idea. I
right?
love that.
because games would go way quicker. You could even play a doubleheader in a day. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like, let's get to the end of this game to where
Well,
it's
they're only
like way
playing
more
4
fun.
innings anyway with the time limit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Like, let's just like call it like, hey, if we get to the third inning and it is like 4-0, like, hey, you guys have to score. And like, it's game over, right? And then when they get to double A, you play 4 innings, right? You get to triple A, you play 5 innings. Then you get to senior majors. That's when you start playing 6. Because even like, how long are you playing? You're playing 7 innings, even in college on double headers, right? And then
Right.
it's just like, it's more about how, again, how do you win a ball game, right? Like, let's get to the end of this thing and like teach these kids how to win the game, because ultimately that is how you solve arm injuries. Ultimately, that is how you solve baseball is too boring, right? Ultimately, that is how you solve, hey, my kid doesn't know if he likes it or not. Dude, he just played 20 games in 10 days because they played a doubleheader every Saturday, right? He's
I,
going
I
to
would
much
I would
more.
even I'll jump on 5 innings
Yeah.
because then it would make sense because then it would go 5-7-9 if you think about it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's fine.
You know what I mean? Because then that would
I just
solve all
want the
right. It'd
kids.
solve all the problems.
I
You know what I
just
mean?
want the kids to do what you're talking about. Ultimately, what I'm talking about, which is like, hey, can we get to the point where it's like, if they score a run, like we're in trouble, like one of those type of things. Like
Yeah.
that's because that's when you're gonna see the kids like. And I've been doing it since like for the last 6 years. Like, dude, even the high school kids, when I'm pitching to them, dude, it gets hot. Like it gets heated. Like towards the end of the
Yes.
game, like even we're chilling in the first couple innings. Hey, we're playing 7. The 6th inning, if it's close, it always gets like a little bit like, okay, we're all gonna like lock in a little bit more. We're in the hit tracks. We're not on a freaking field. So 9-year-olds, when they're getting to the end of the game, like one of the things that we do is we play a showdown, like in the show, right? So I'll put them down by 6 runs, right? And I say, you guys have 12 outs to beat me, right? And they're like, what? And I'm just like, yep, you guys get to keep hitting, right? But you have 12 outs, right? And I'll have you start with bases loaded, right? And so that's how they start their first inning. If they hit into a double play, that's all you get, right? You don't score, that's all you get. But it's the idea of like every out should matter. But I think that's only when you're on offense. Then you're on the pitching side of things. It would be a lot easier, I feel like, to go with what you're talking about. Like, hey, let's keep this like we're already going past the time limit. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need my guys out there for like 25 pitches, 30 pitches. He's 9. Like, let's call this inning right here. That's it, right? It's just I feel like there has to be a little bit more mercy. I feel like to like the length of the game, because these kids like that's when they get like the mental side of the game, right? Just end it. Just like make it endable as fast as you can. That's I really do believe that. I think like you have to teach the kid. Dude, I've thought about that in baseball for a while. You got to have a knockout in baseball somehow, like to keep the entertainment value. Because banana ball kind of has that because you can like walk off an inning and the inning's over, right? So that mini game is over, but it doesn't seem to matter at a little league level because it's all the whatever the you want to call it. It has to be the inside the rule set. Like nobody can like make a little league with like their own rules. That'd be cool. That'd be super cool.
Makes sense.
Mm. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my. I already predicted all my winners. So let me go grab it real quick.
Okay, yeah, I just pulled up the original stuff.
Now it was one of the weirdest. Like I was not a fan of how the NCAA Instagram posted this. They posted it in like random order. It was like the number 1, then the 16, and then we're gonna go 9, and then like the last post that they made was the 3 seed. It was Arkansas, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I got all 16 predictions here.
Okay. All right.
So do you have the regional games up? We can go
Yeah, I
like
got it right
piece
here.
by piece.
Yeah.
Hit me with any of them. I'm ready.
All right, we'll start off. We got Nashville Regional, Vandy versus Wright State.
Who's the second? Who is the second pair
Okay,
of team?
Louis, you want me to roll through them? Okay, so we got
Right.
Vandy versus Wright State, Louisville versus East Tennessee State, Then you
Well, I
have
got.
Austin.
Oh, we'll stop
No.
there, right?
Okay. 4-2.
I got
Got it.
Vandy winning that regional pretty handily. I mean, they just won the SEC tournament and like not by hitting. Then they started hitting at the end of it, right?
Right.
So I got Vandy, dude. Louisville's good, but Vandy, bro.
Okay. Austin Regional, Texas, Houston Christian, University of Texas San Antonio, Kansas State. Houston Christian. Never heard of you guys. Houston Christian. Yeah, Texas is unreal, but never heard of you, Houston Christian. That's a new Cinderella. Welcome to it. Fayetteville Regional, Arkansas, North Dakota State, Kansas, and Creighton. What's going on? North
Dude,
Dakota State is in a regional?
so I have heard Kansas. We have a coach who used to work with another coach at Kansas. They drop bombs. So don't watch out for the Jayhawks. Don't be shocked if the Jayhawks beat somebody and get to the finals, but Hogs.
I'm really upset there. Hawks over Arkansas?
No, I'm just saying they'll get to the championship game, right? They might get to a Monday against Arkansas.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. All right, here we go. Auburn, surprise. Central Connecticut State, also. Who are you? NC
Dude, I know a
State
guy
and
who went to Central
Stetson.
Connecticut. Oh, sorry, continue.
Central.
Sorry.
Okay. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Holy Cross,
Oh, I
Oklahoma,
didn't say Central
Nebraska.
Connecticut. I meant who was the
Oh,
host
Auburn.
there?
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn's gonna
Yeah.
win there.
Then you got North Carolina, Holy Cross, Oklahoma, Nebraska. Watch out for Oklahoma.
Dude, Nebraska just won the Big 12 too, or Big 10, whatever the hell they're in, right? They beat UCLA, so Big 10, right?
Ooh, yes.
But I'm taking the Heels because I mean, dude, they're really talented. They're super
The Baby
talented.
Blues.
Baby
Baby
Blues.
All right, so we have Baton Rouge, LSU, Little Rock, Dallas Baptist, Rhode Island. At least I've heard of those four.
Yeah,
That's gonna. I mean, Dallas Baptist versus LSU for sure, no doubt.
yeah. I got
LSU all day.
LSU. Go Tigers.
Athens, Georgia, Binghamton, Duke, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State versus Georgia, sleeper. Even though Duke is good and can swing it, and I know they're your boys.
Yeah, dude. I actually had Georgia winning the whole thing early in the season, like mid season. So I'm still picking Georgia, dude. I think they are so swaggy and they hit bombs. Like
They're
they led the nation
tough.
in bombs.
They're tough pitching too.
Yeah,
Tough.
Hurley, the dude with the pause and the flick of the tongue. I want that guy in Omaha so bad to do something crazy on the mound, like so
Oh, I'm sure he's
bad.
got way more in the back pocket for sure. All right, here we go. Corvallis, Oregon State, St. Mary's, TCU, USC. St. Mary's, I texted you about the USD St. Mary's game. I can't believe USD blew that. I can't believe that.
What
Like
happened
they
in the
won the
second
game,
game?
and they just blew it. I think they had like a 4 or 5 run lead and then just lost. USC, I'm going, even though I saw TCU play, like, and they're pretty good and they got that lefty that throws really hard. I'm calling USC versus Oregon State, and then I'm taking USC.
You're taking the upset. I got the
Upset.
Beavs.
Maybe. And then here we go. Tallahassee, Florida State, Bethune-Cookman, Northeastern, Mississippi State. Mississippi State, Florida State. Listen, Florida State, I love you guys. I love you. But you guys, you've never won a College World Series, ever. I know that because I'm a Florida State fan. I know you have a number one pick, but like, also, we'll leave that there. So I'm going to say Florida State, Mississippi State. Mississippi State beats Florida State. Mississippi State goes on.
Ooh, okay. Seminole's one of the best offenses in the country, though. Miles Bailey is literally like Zion Williamson in the batter's box. He is the strongest middle.
I would say that Mississippi State's pitching staff's really good, though. And also, Mississippi State's got all the toys. You remember, they're like the king of the rain delay. Like, they know exactly how to mess with timing and dudes. And I can guarantee you, the gamesmanship of what they do in between pitches and in between innings will be the deciding factor to throw Florida State off, and it's not going to matter.
I like it. I still got the Seminoles. Lodis is a dog. He's gonna leave.
They love little fake butt pullbacks and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Ole Miss, Murray State, Georgia Tech, Western Kentucky. Easy. Ole Miss, Georgia Tech. Saw Ole Miss the other day. They're unreal.
I got the Yellow Jackets.
Really?
I thought they should have had a regional, man. I thought they really should have.
Interesting.
Plus it's Coach Hall's last season. Show some respect. Put some respect on that guy's name. You know what I mean?
Some respect.
32 seasons in the NCAA. Come on, man. Give that guy a freaking regional.
Get him a regional. Clemson, USC, Virginia, or West Virginia, Kentucky.
So I have that as the sleeper toughest regional. Like that is like a tough West Virginia.
West Virginia is pretty good.
Dude, West Virginia is really good. They can hit. They've got a very tough ball club. Western Kentucky at one point had two guys that were like leading the nation in hits. So they can swing it a little bit. But the Tigers are, in my mind, one of the best teams in college baseball. I think they're getting all the way to Omaha, and they're winning this one.
Wow. Love that. Shout out Clemson. Okay, we got the Eugene Regional. Oregon, Utah Valley, Arizona, Cal Poly. This one's rough, too. Because I saw Arizona play over the weekend, and they looked very good. Very fast. Very fast.
And pitchers look dialed. Like,
yes, they're spotting.
Yes.
Spotting.
They beat a very good TCU team.
Yes.
Oregon, maybe the Golden Spikes winner, that Mason Neville guy, right? Maybe. I think he has 28 bombs, which is nuts, right? They've got that, the big cleanup hitter. He's got like the all-time home run record. But Wildcats, Arizona, Wildcats. Dude, do you remember when they were like really good? Like for that short time in like 2010 to like 2014, they looked like Cal State Fullerton back in the day. Like they were just pitching staff. Ref Snyder for the Yankees played there, right? And they also probably had some other guys, right? But good ball club. Like right around the time when South Carolina had like Jackie Bradley Jr. Yeah. Dude. Anyways.
Love that.
Go Cats.
Go Cats. Next. Ooh, fun one. Coastal Carolina, Fairfield, Florida, East Carolina. Florida. Even though I get it, Coastal Carolina, but Florida's got that fire. Like, they got too many giant humans throwing 99. Too many.
I posted on my Instagram Coastal, but I hear you. Like, I'm just like, dude, it's Florida.
They keep bringing they got that lefty that throws 99 that's like 6'9". They got like two righties that throw 99. Yeah. They're like 6'8". I'm like, what is happening?
It's always going on. I think we said it last year. It's just like you could probably put money on the Gators to make it Omaha in February, and it's not a bad bet. Like, it's never a bad bet.
And they started so bad, too. So bad.
And look where they're at. Kevin O'Sullivan knows what he's doing.
See ya. Okay, here we go. Tennessee, Miami of Ohio, Wake Forest, Cincinnati. Miami of Ohio. That must have been a national championship.
Go Eagles! I think that the Eagles, I don't know.
All right. They might be the Warhawks, actually.
Yeah, I think they're the Warhawks. I knew it was some avian.
Avian.
Okay, so Tennessee was my pick at the very beginning of the season, like very, very beginning before we watched any baseball, right? Still the best hitter in college baseball, hands down, in my opinion, is Andrew Fisher. But Demon Deacons, dude, that pitching staff, they're electric on the bases, too. They play hard baseball. Defense a little spotty, from what I've seen. Defense a little spotty from time. But, like, I also feel like they play in a bandbox. Like, so, like, they play, like, hard games. Like, they might lose games where it's, like, they gave up home runs. Like, when Chase Burns gave up home runs last year, some of them were, like, whoa. But Wake Forest, bro. It's a good program. What do you think?
Yeah. It's also a bandbox. So it's going to be, if it's a bandbox at Wake Forest, it is what it is. But Tennessee's not a bandbox. Like Tennessee's good. It's a poke. It's like
Mm-hmm.
from right center field with that giant jumbotron. I've seen too many people
Thing's
hit it.
sick.
I've seen so many people hit it over the jumbotron, being like, "What? Why is that a thing? Why is that a
Oh
thing?"
my god! And it looks
Anyway,
so sick when they do it. My
it's
favorite moment of
tough
the
to
year.
it's tough to play there too. Like they get a really good student section.
Yeah.
There's no foul territory. Everything's higher. They're on top of
Mm-hmm.
you. They're on top of you in the bullpen. Like Tennessee for sure. So,
Okay.
but I mean, hey, if Corey Mascara, the pitching coach at Wake Forest, makes through it, shout out Corey Mascara. Let's see what we can do.
I just believe in the pitching staff of Wake Forest. I think is electric. I do.
Okay, here we go. UCLA, Fresno State, UC Irvine, Arizona State. Arizona State, sleeper.
35-22 got a little snub. I feel like could have been at a better regional. Felt like it was a better team. Tommy Brown. Shout out going to Arizona State next year. He's excited to watch this. But you know what I'm the most happy about? We're back. UCLA baseball has a regional. Okay. Cats are no longer sleeping with dogs. There's no more pandemonium, right?
It's Bruins. It's
Dude, it
Bears.
needed
Brandon
to happen.
Bears.
If you saw one in Fullerton too, you'd be like, oh, the nostalgia, right? So it's like, it's good to see this. I think that obviously they're a low seed. That and then the next regional are the toughest regionals. I think UC Irvine got ripped off coming here. Like, this is a tough regional for how good they were. I got UCLA winning that one just because I think of the nostalgia factor. And Savage, dude, he knows how to win. He's been to the College World Series. He knows what he's doing. Dude, he's got that. And then they also got some bats now. They got that big first baseman, Big Donkey. Excited. They also have a right-handed hitter who's really good. There's been a lot of guys at the facility who've actually told me about him, so I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. But go Bruins, man. We need UCLA baseball back. I don't think people realize that. You need the West Coast power. You picked USC. Love that. I got Oregon State still on the West Coast, but LA baseball is good for baseball.
It is. And a lot of LA baseball, a lot of regional right there, right? A lot of representation.
And that's why I'm a little upset. I'm like, why'd you jam pack everybody in there? Well, part of it is because the West Coast is only represented by 12 freaking teams this year. And it's not even, it's Utah's part of that. It's barely the West Coast, right? So
Probably North Dakota State's involved in that too.
And they're in Arkansas, bruh. Like,
All right, last one. Southern Miss, Columbia, Alabama. Like,
okay.
Alabama might have the pitcher of the year.
They also have Justin LeBron, who's like superstar.
Yes.
So
Shortstop.
Southern Miss, probably one of the most fun places to play.
Yeah, but look, they got this. They play that game.
Oh
we
yeah.
gonna have that. Yeah. They gonna get changed to death. Like I watched a couple of their guys come in, and they were throwing wiffle balls left-handed, just and you could see all the hitters were just.
So you beat an SEC team too. Got to throw a lot of off-speed pitches. You're not beating them with fastballs, man. And God, Southern Miss is another one of those schools you're gonna break out of it. I don't know. Alabama, weren't they like 22-1? Or like they were like dogs at one point in the season. They had very little losses. SEC happened, right? Same thing with Tennessee, right? So roll tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll tide.
Yep, I think it's too much for them. SEC is good.
I mean,
Awesome. I love that we did this. We have to do this next week for sure.
oh, hold
so
on,
we can do
hold on, because
okay, let's go.
13 SEC teams made it, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 continuing to the next phase, and then I also have the top 9 seeds moving on, right? So it's like. But you had a couple of upsets in there. Like, it's not that I'm for these top seeds only. It's just like, dude, like these guys are so, like Georgia at like 7 is kind of wild. Like, they're so good. They have the most home runs by like 60. Like the next close is like not that close. Look that up. Can you please? Either I'm an idiot or I'm right.
Let me look it up.
Most NCAA home runs this year by team. Pretty sure it's the Dogs.
Hold on, I was getting the outstanding. Good job. The ChatGPT is amazing. I've got the schedule right here on who starts and plays when. Okay, here we go. Friday, May 30th, first game. For all you, this is the NCAA 64 team baseball tournament. I don't know if you know that that's what they're doing, but that's what they did.
I wish they actually put the seating next to everybody.
I know, right? Wouldn't it be sick if they had?
God, that would be great.
Yeah, they used to do that. Used to do the tree. They used to do the tree.
Well, because it was the whole Fresno State story. They were number 64.
Yeah. Right. Here we go. So first game, 11 a.m. Pacific time. So 11 a.m. our time. First game Friday, and then it just rolls.
I love it.
Roll.
I love it
all day long.
What are you doing this weekend? Nothing. I'm watching college baseball.
Yeah, right. Just absorbing, watching the future, just scouting, writing things down, doing things.
Dude, 80 MLB players came from the SEC. I know that's still like not the highest percentage, but 40, right? 40 would be 1%. Right? So even the fact that they're at 2% is not, 10%, sorry. 10%. If you look at the big leagues, right? There's what, 450, 550, whatever.
Give me a second. It gave me back they haven't released the information yet. It's not really. I disagree.
Yeah. Pretty sure you can go on the NCAA website.
Here we go. Wait, no. Okay, Mississippi State led the Bulldogs with 133 home runs.
Who had more? Or the Georgia had less?
Yeah, it goes Mississippi State.
Oh, wow.
Arizona State.
Bombs in the country?
133, Mississippi State. 84, Arizona. 66, TCU. 63, Irvine. 55, Cal Poly.
No way. That can't be right.
Oh, no, you're right. It took me, that was wrong. ChatGPT was wrong. Too late. Okay, here we go. We can start over. Georgia, number 1, 133. High Point, 131. Tennessee, 122. East Tennessee State, 116.
Oh,
Southern Illinois, 113. Austin PV, 112. Arkansas, 110. Missouri State, 109. Oregon, 109. Ole Miss, 105. Davidson, 100. Kansas, 100. Wake Forest, 100. Duke, 99. USC Upstate, 99. DBU, 97. Mississippi State, 97. There's your sleeper. Southern Miss, 97. Wait,
a lot of teams that are in the playoffs are on that.
Texas A&M did not make a regional.
Nope.
Florida State, Maryland, 94, 93. New Mexico,
I think there was some
Kansas
team
State,
that had
Alabama.
a sub 500 record that got in over Texas A&M because they won their conference.
Yeah, they won their conference. There you go. That'll happen. Ooh, UC San Diego up in 80.
Hell yeah.
Georgia Tech, Florida at 88. Yeah, dude. LSU.
Georgia Tech had a lot of doubles this year.
Alabama 91. Yeah, dude, this is a problem. Georgia is going to be a problem.
Yeah, dude, Georgia's got a lot of bombs, dude. And they've got a dispersal of them. I think they have 4 guys with 15 bombs, maybe more, which is nuts.
Oh, take it back. First game's 9 a.m., sir, not 11. Take that back. Georgia plays at 9 a.m. Friday. Put it down.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we're waking and watching.
I cannot wait. Because,
yeah, for sure.
One of my predictions this year was, I can't think of his name, but they have a corn-fed white boy third baseman. And there was some early chippiness in the season. I think they were playing, Georgia State or something like that.
Yeah.
And he hit a ball and started barking around the bases, and I was looking at him, and I'm like, dude, this guy is just one of them. Because they can respond, and when they respond with gusto because they have 133 bombs, right? So if college baseball at this point is like, I mean, watching high school playoffs, like the amount of runs that get scored in a blink of an eye, right? It's crazy. College baseball, there's bombs. They're just bombs, right? So it's just like you got to be careful when you throw into like an entire lineup of guys that can take you deep.
Watch out. They'll get you. Awesome. Well, my friend, I think we've arrived at the time. I appreciate everything that you've done. ChatGPT, you were wrong. That was terrible, but at least you got me to the link to get the correct information, but we'll get to there. Anyway, anything you want to throw out there?
We are going to get ready to launch some on-field stuff. I'm going to get that confirmed this week. So stay on the lookout for some on-field stuff. Get some offense on the field. Get some sunshine.
We're starting summer training over here. We're going to be doing live at bats on different ranges of skill. High school guys will be eligible to go to the college hours, but you have to qualify, and I have to know who you are. If you are interested and want to get some work in against real people practicing real situations, which means live at bats, advanced BP, data, strategy, things that are going to affect how you win a baseball game, please reach out to either one of us, by the way, if you're in the area and you would like some more information on how to get started with us. We do things from remote phone calls. I've got 4 phone calls after this right now. I'm already in deep on that.
That's
so
great.
We'll catch up a little bit later. Maybe next week we'll do a little Pod Scout team review or something with that, because it was that experience, what I just got back from this weekend, was unbelievable. So
Yeah,
thank you for your time.
of course. You too, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Like and subscribe. Follow us everywhere. We'll have that all in the show notes. Thank you guys so much. Party on. Happy Tuesday.
Later, guys.